All right, let's just jump right in. Have you ever just stared at your charts, completely overwhelmed by all the indicators and just crazy complex strategies? Yeah? Well, this one's for you. We are going to strip all of that away and break down a method that's all about what the market is actually doing.
I mean, listen to this quote from professional trader Rajan D. So easy a child could use it. That's a pretty bold statement, right? But the idea behind it is powerful. It's that real, effective trading isn't about being complicated. It's about having a really simple but deep understanding of how the market actually behaves.
And you know what? This is the exact trap so many of us fall into. You've got your stochastics, your RSI, you're drawing triangles, pennants, and before you know it, your screen looks like a mess. You're just frozen, what they call analysis paralysis, because you've got 10 different things telling you 10 different things. And you totally forget the one thing that matters, the price itself.
Okay, so how do we fix this? How do we simplify everything? Well, it starts by changing how we look at the market. Instead of some magical, mystical chart, let's think of it as something we all get instinctively, a simple auction.
Seriously, that's it. At its very core, every single second of the day, the market is just a giant, ongoing negotiation. You've got buyers and sellers constantly in this tug-of-war, pushing and pulling, trying to figure out what is this thing actually worth right now.
And this isn't some abstract theory either. This is happening all around us every single day. Think about it. Cars, houses, gold, orange juice, heck, even eggs. The principle is exactly the same. When a lot of people want something, the price goes up. When there's a lot of it available, the price goes down. Simple.
So all this back and forth, this negotiation, it creates something called the auction area. You can just think of it as a big zone of congestion on your chart. It's that price level where most of the action is happening, where buyers and sellers are agreeing, yep, this is a fair price. And because that's where all the business is being done, it kind of acts like a magnet for the price. All right, that all makes sense, but how do we turn this idea into an actual tradable strategy? Well, it all boils down to one super simple rule, the two-chart rule. And it really is this simple. You've got the daily chart, that's your anchor. It tells you the big picture, the overall trend. And then you have the 5-minute chart, that's your map. It's where you zoom in to find your exact spot to get in.
Now listen to this, because this part is radical and it is absolutely key. You ignore everything in between. The 1-hour chart, the 4-hour, all of it. Just get rid of it. Why? Because it gets rid of all the conflicting signals and the confusion. You just have one big picture view and one entry point view. That is it.
Here's the best way to think about it. The goal is to swim with the tide, not against it. The daily chart, that's the main ocean current. The 5-minute chart, those are the little waves inside that current. All you're trying to do is make sure that little wave is going in the same direction as the big current. Your job is not to be a hero and fight the tide, it's to find a nice, easy wave to ride.
Okay, so the theory makes sense. We've got our two charts picked out. Now for the big question, how do you actually place a trade? Let's walk through the exact steps, one by one.
Okay, step 1. You need alignment. Both the daily chart and the 5-minute chart have to be pointing in the same direction, both up or both down. Simple. Step 2, you wait. This is crucial. You don't chase the price. You let it pull back to that auction area we talked about. And finally, step 3, you look for your entry signal. You need a clear sign that the pullback is over, something like a big reversal candle, a bearish engulfing pattern or something similar that tells you, okay, the main trend is ready to take over again.
And here's a great way to visualize this, using Rajan's quote, "I'm only ever trading on the right side of the V." Think about it. The market moves in waves, right? It goes down, then up, creating these V shapes. You never, ever want to try and buy at the very bottom of the V while it's still falling. That's called catching a falling knife. No. You wait for it to bottom out, turn, and start heading back up. You trade on the right side of the V when the momentum is already back on your side.
But look, having a great entry strategy, that's only one piece of the puzzle. We have to talk about why simplicity really wins in the long run. Because success isn't just about what you trade, it's about the rock-solid, ironclad rules that you live by every single day.
In this chart, this really puts it all into perspective. Look at this. The strategy itself, the part that everybody obsesses over, it's only about 1/3 of the game. The other 2/3, your psychology and your risk management, are just as critical, maybe even more so. This is huge. So, what are those rules? Well, here are the non-negotiables. First, a trade limit. Just one high-quality trade per day. That's it. This stops you from revenge trading and making silly mistakes. Second, your reward to risk ratio. You always aim for at least a 2-to-1 payout. That way, your winners more than cover your losers. And finally, your stop loss. It's placed just outside the candle structure you entered on. It's your safety net, no questions asked.
And really, that's what this all comes down to. A real edge in the market doesn't come from some secret, complicated indicator. It comes from having a simple plan that works, and then having the discipline to follow that plan perfectly, every single day.
So, I want to leave you with a question. The next time you pull up a chart, ask yourself, what am I really focused on here? Am I focused on a dozen different indicators? Or am I focused on the price? Am I seeing a mess of lines? Or am I seeing the simple, powerful story of an auction playing out right in front of me? Because honestly, that shift in focus, it might just change everything for you.